The UK government wants to give pubs and music venues a bit more peace and quiet, ironically, by helping them make more noise without getting shut down. My name is Jack Reeves and welcome back to this week's episode of Tax Tidbits, where under new plans, developers building near existing pubs and music venues will have to soundproof their properties. About time, right? It's also set to become quicker and easier to open up new bars and pubs in dedicated areas to make good use of the many disused shops on our high streets. The aim is to breathe life back into the struggling pub scene, which has been losing hundreds of boozers a year. Labour says this will bring vibrancy to tired town centres, with Rachel Reeves saying for too long they've been stifled by clunky, outdated rules. We're binning them to protect pavement pints, alfresco dining and street parties, not just for the summer, but all year round. For businesses in hospitality, it could mean fewer legal headaches, a lower risk of closure due to complaints, and a shot at survival in an industry that's been on last orders for far too long. Shoplifting in England and Wales has hit an all-time high, and businesses say it's spiralling out of control. More than 530,000 thefts were reported in the year to March 2025, a 20% jump from the year before, making it the worst year for shoplifting since records began. The rise is being driven in part by organised gangs targeting multiple stores in a single day, while staff are left to deal with not just the missing goods, but also abuse and threats. Retailers say the £2.2 billion annual cost is no joke, and that the current law, where anything under £200 often gets ignored by police, is just not cutting it. The government has responded with a new crime and policing bill, which includes more cops on the beat and promises to crack down, but many in industry are still waiting to see if it's all talk. HMRC's latest draft rules for making tax digital for income tax are here, and while they tidy up a few bits, goodbye end of period statement, they also slipped in some eyebrow raisers. While MTD for corporation tax has been scrapped, as we covered last week, MTD for income tax is full steam ahead with updated rules, including lowering the entry threshold to £20,000 from April 2028, as confirmed in the spring statement. There's also more flexibility in the penalty system, as HMRC can now cancel or reinstate penalty points like a game of whack-a-mole, though it's still unclear exactly when or while they'll do so. Exemptions to MTD have also been tweaked, with some added, like ministers of religion and recipients of some allowances, and other areas made more vague, such as HMRC's 28-day response time has disappeared, giving them more time to process exemption requests. A few confusing bits remain, like the vague powers HMRC gives itself for future exemptions, as it sounds like these exemptions might end after this Parliament. For businesses, it's a heads up that managing compliance under MTD is getting trickier, and staying on top of exemptions, software and shifting penalty rules will be more important and possibly more headache inducing than ever. Anglian Water is set to cough up £62.8 million after Ofwat found it seriously dropped the ball on managing sewage, leading to way too many storm overflow spills. While it dodged a further £57.1 million fine by agreeing to invest in fixing the mess, it still forked out £5.8 million into a community fund. The company, already under fire and a ban on bonuses for poor performance, says it's working to clean up its act, with £1 billion allocated to halve spills by 2030. But customers won't escape unscathed, with average bills expected to rise from £491 to £631 a year. This is yet another water company that has had years of underinvestment and shareholder payouts and yet customers are again being asked to foot the bill. This comes as a government report recommended replacing Ofwat completely, as they clearly aren't effectively managing these water companies, so this fine could be one step closer to Ofwat's grave. The UK government is thinking about cutting back on how often it officially checks its borrowing, down from twice a year to just once, following advice from the International Monetary Fund. The idea is that fewer check-ins might stop all the policy flip-flopping we've seen lately just to hit borrowing targets, like when they announced welfare cuts, then had to backtrack after a political fuss. While the IMF praised the UK's economic progress and reforms, it warned that the government's financial buffer is pretty slim, so risks like slower growth or interest rate shocks could cause trouble. To manage this, the IMF suggested some tough options like changing the state pension triple lock, expanding VAT, means testing more benefits, and introducing NHS co-payments for the wealthy. If the government takes the IMF's advice, we might see more tax hikes than anticipated in the autumn budget, as the Chancellor works to build a bigger financial cushion to handle the unpredictable global economy. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Tax Tidbits. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to our channel. I won't see you now for a few weeks as I am off to get married, but Robin will see you back here next Thursday.